third press conference of the day. Very excited about our women's senior group. Have a interesting and youthful group up here. We have the elderly members of our folks down here at 20 years old. Skye is the old lady. But here with us today, so we have Skye Blakely making her return to competition. She is a two-time World Championships gold medalist, and in 2024 had silver in the all-around and on vault, and bronze on beam and bars. She will be competing beam and bars here in New Orleans. Next to her, Joscelyn Roberson, World Championships team gold medalist, Olympic replacement athlete, and our 2023 vault national champion. And Hezly Rivera next to her, Olympic gold medalist in the team competition, 2023 U.S. junior all-around champion. So like 2 years ago as a junior. Right next to her happens to be our 2024 senior junior all-around champion, Pease, who will be competing for the first time at national championships in the senior all-around, coming off of a win in the senior all-around at the U.S. Classic. So with all of that said, we'll start with Claire, since she's close to me. Tell us a little bit about your last year, and Claire, especially for you coming up from that move from junior to senior.
So last year's been really good.
And we're going to give her the microphone too. There we go.
The last year's been really good. I've been taking a lot of time in the gym, focusing on the details. Last season was really great. I felt really confident just throughout all the meets. And then transitioning to senior year, it's been great, working on upgrading my routine slowly and just kind of getting experience with more competing international assignments. So.
Hezly?
Do I?
Seriously. The last year, obviously, 2024 was a crazy year for you. And here you are in 25. Just tell us about what it's been like.
Yeah, so last year was obviously a great year. I had a lot of fun, and I felt very confident in my gymnastics, so I'm really happy with how everything turned out last year. And this year, I've just been working in the gym, training my routines, and I took some time off after the Olympics just to, recoup and get back into it and slow down a little bit. But I'm just starting to ramp back up now, and I'm having a lot of fun and spending time with my coaches, teammates, and family. It's been great.
So the last year for me has been kind of all over the place. I obviously went to the Olympics as the replacement athlete and had so much fun there. I learned a lot. I got to watch them compete, and that was so awesome. Killed it, by the way. And then after that, I went home and packed up in a week and moved to Fayetteville, where I started college. But I was only there for a few weeks, and then I went on tour. And tour was so much fun, an unforgettable experience. I mean, I went everywhere and did everything. And after that, it was straight into college season, my freshman season at the University of Arkansas. And I had so much fun. I competed all around a lot of the weekends. It was a different kind of crazy, but it was the best time, and I had so much fun doing it. And then right after season was over, I started preseason to get ready for classics and championships, and then the rest of the year. So I'm super excited and can't wait to see what the rest of the year holds.
The last year has been a lot, but just happy to be where I am right now. I repaired my Achilles and then moved into college to start my freshman year at the University of Florida, where I had fun just getting to know my new teammates and learning the college life and adjusting to classes and everything. And then in the gym, got back, was happy to compete on bars for the University of Florida, my first NCAA season, and got to compete with my sister. And after that, continued to heal my Achilles, get stronger, kind of start to do more in the gym, get back to gymnastics, and then worked out a plan with my coaches and talked to my parents and decided to compete at USA Championships. And I'm just full of gratitude and just happy to be here and ready for a good weekend to compete alongside all these really talented girls.
What's happening?
I would just like to say I have not thought of any of that. I don't know about the rest of them, but I didn't know that it was a thing until I saw it on Instagram. I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a great time. But I was like, okay, now I need to think about, like, I just, like, full on turned my college mode on when I saw that. I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun, and I can't wait. But, yeah, I haven't thought about themes or names, or now I'm going to go think about that, actually. Yeah.
And the squad competition was the brainchild of our high performance folks who are here as well. So after this, you might want to talk to them a little bit about how that came to be about as well. Questions? Yep.
Yeah, for Joscelyn, I know you mentioned some upgrades you wanted to bring in from Classic to now. How are those materializing?
I think they're looking really good. I'm super excited for podium tonight to see how they fully shake out. I'm not putting too much pressure on them still, but I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah, Claire, after the win at Classic, how does that sort of affected your mindset? Do you feel any extra pressure, or how are you approaching this?
So, going to classics, I wasn't trying to win anything. My goal was just do my training, what I do in training, and just compete how I practice. And I don't really feel any added pressure onto that. My main goal is still to just do what I do in the gym. So, just keeping a positive mindset about what I do in practice, and yeah.
Did the win surprise you at all?
Not really, because if I practice what I do, then anything can happen, really. So.
A question for Skye. How far along are you in your Achilles rehab? Where are you in terms of all around? Like, is your goal for Worlds to be doing all around, or can you give us an update on like skill progress?
I'm 13 months out now. Feeling strong, doing a lot in the gym. I'd say I'm filling back bars and beam. Floor, I mean, I'm tumbling, doing some tumbling, kind of playing around with new tumbling too. Vault, doing drills, doing a little bit, watching videos. But this year, I'm kind of just sticking to my bars and beam plan, which I think is best. And I think all around will return for NCAA season first, and then we'll see where it takes me next year.
As for Hezly, you talked about last year being really confident in your gymnastics. Can you describe in more detail what that feels like for you when you're your most confident self?
Yeah, when I feel most confident, I obviously perform the best, but I think just being in the right mindset, because I can do all the physical parts, but just training my brain to do the right things, especially under a little bit more like nerves. So I've just been training with that in the gym, and I've been feeling way more confident since classics and just more prepared overall.
How do you train that in the gym?
How do I train that in the gym? We do like pressure sets, kind of like salute routines, and I kind of just think what I have to do correctly. Obviously not adding too much pressure to myself because it's just training, but trying to envision myself in competition, competing, and hopefully that will transfer into when I'm actually doing it.
Hezly, wondered if you could just walk me through your the recruiting process with LSU and that relationship you built with Jay Clark, and just kind of how everything unfolded and how you ultimately decided to commit to the Tigers.
Well, LSU felt like a home to me, and all the coaching staff were very welcoming. I love LSU so much. And their whole recruiting process was kind of crazy because I was still taking a break and then going on tour and training on and off. So it was kind of very hectic, but I think that Jay was very welcoming. He's kind of like a father. So it was just nice to have that kind of relationship with him. And obviously when I went on the visits, I got to see the whole gist of everything. And I really like the way that they treat their athletes, just the whole entire staff, and how the girls come together as a family.
And just the recent success that program has had with the national title 2 years ago. So I'm sure that was kind of another thing that kind of added incentive to
Yes, it definitely did. For me, that's also a big factor, not the main factor, but it is a big factor.
Joss, I think a couple years ago in San Jose, we're talking to you, and you're sort of like, oh, I don't know, someone's here, and like you were the young, you were the young group, and now like Jill has noted several times how like young this group is compared to, the last squad. Does it feel weird? I mean, really, you just got to be sort of like the older is not the right word, but in relation to everybody else.
It
does
feels
feel different?
extremely odd. Yes. I was talking about this at Classics. It was like, if I ever got super, super nervous, I could be like, oh, no one's watching me. Like, they're watching Simone, they're watching Jordan, they're watching Suni and Jade. Like, they're not watching me. But now it's kind of hard because it's like you are older and you're like one of the oldest, even though we are still so young. And it's like, okay, so maybe they are kind of watching me. So it adds a different level of nerves, but I love it. I mean, I love a big crowd. I love getting them involved as much as I can with as much as possible. And I feel like college helped me a lot with like how to find and calm my nerves. So yeah, it's definitely weird being the oldest or one of the oldest, but I love it and it's exciting.
Do you find yourself offering advice now that you've received yourself in the past?
I think so. I don't think I like go out and I'm like, hey, listen to me. But if people come up and they're like, hey, what do you think about this? Or I have a question, or if they're feeling nervous, I feel like I can add to that, like, and just help them calm their nerves and be like, hey, this is like just one meet. In the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, you'll still go home. You're still going to go back to practice, and you still have goals for the next year and all the years after that.
Before we go to the next question, I don't know if we have a building person in here now. Okay, we're just trying to get the sound down. Okay, Patricia.
Joscelyn. Hi. You know, at Classic you were focused on, you said you were focused on not falling, those routines, getting back into it. What would you say your goal is now that you've gotten a meet under your belt back in Elite?
Yeah, I mean, staying on the equipment's always great. But I feel like I've shifted from just staying on and getting back out in the elite world to really coming into me as a whole as an elite gymnast. I think bringing back my spark and like how bubbly I am around, like off the floor and on the floor, I think bringing that back in its fullness. I feel like last meet I couldn't really do that because I was just so nervous. But I want to do that this meet and just show my bigger gymnastics. And just get back out there 100%.
Hezly, after the year you had last year, probably this meet feels different and there's more different expectations on you. I'm wondering if that's how you feel, and if so, like, kind of how do you keep it in a place that you can go out and compete like normal?
I am not adding any extra pressure to myself. I'm just going to do what I do in the gym. I know that my normal is enough, so I'm just going to continue training and have fun with it. I personally don't feel any added pressure or any expectations. Obviously, I have expectations for myself, but nothing from like the outside or the crowd or anyone on social media. I'm kind of just focusing on myself.
Yeah, Skye, a lot of athletes, kind of talk about how hard it is to balance college and elite gymnastics, but you're doing that on top of recovering from your injury. But what was your process of getting back to your elite skills? Did you find it easy and kind of just all part of the same process?
I've definitely done a lot this year. I mean, recovering, school, elite gymnastics, NCAA gymnastics. It's been a lot. But what helped was that my NCAA routines aren't far off from the routines I do already in elite. Similar skills, which was helpful. And then when NCAA season ended, I kind of just kept working those skills, started adding a little bit more. And I did go home for a month where I was at Wolga and just in that month continued to work, got back my elite skills. It started coming together, and then I returned to Florida, and it's kind of just like, oh, I see the vision. Like I see it's coming together. These routines are almost there. And then within the last couple of weeks, it's been fun because I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm back in that elite readiness again. So it's been great. It's been a lot, but I feel like I've been able to balance it really well, and the coaches have been super helpful.
For all of you, did any of you, when you're putting your routines together, you're thinking about your skills, do you look at the international field at all? Do any of you think like, oh, Namor has this start value on bars and I'm going to get that too? Or do you look at what you can do? Or is that inspirational for you? Do you ever look at kind of the top out there, what's to beat?
I think it is inspirational to see other athletes, especially internationally, training their routines and skills and upgrades, and it does inspire me. But I also focus on what I can do, and that's kind of what goes into it when I'm putting my routines together. I kind of am like, oh, what can I do and how can I do this? And it kind of just works out for me in that way. So it is inspirational, but I also I don't look at it like, oh, I want to be, like doing all of those skills. But it definitely is an inspiration for sure.
Yeah, I think I definitely watch, and I just keep up with like international gymnastics, mostly because I'm a fan of gymnastics. I mean, I know I do it, and that's what I do, but I also still love watching it. So when someone's doing a crazy hard routine, I'm also gonna be in awe of that routine. But I don't think I'm like watching it being like, oh my gosh, I have to be able to get this start value or be better than her. I think it's do as what I can, like the highest difficulty I can, the cleanest I can, and that's like my main goal. And if that's not a 6-8 star value, then it's not a 6-8 star value. So, but yes, I do love watching them because they are incredibly hard and they're doing it perfectly. So it's really cool to watch.
Anyone in particular right now that you guys are really enjoying watching, or in the past?
I mean, Kalia, she's amazing on bars all the time. I mean, and then I don't know, like, I love watching Ellie Black on her Instagram. I know she's just doing her little fun things, but I love keeping up with her, and those are my main two.
Joscelyn, you mentioned some upgrades. Can you be more specific on what you're going to be trying on podium today, see if you'll win the competition?
Yeah, so I'll be mostly focusing on my vault, adding both of those back in, my Chang, and then for floor, I'm going to be doing laid out full in third instead of 2 double layouts. So I'll have a dismount on floor now, and my difficulty will be significantly higher, but those are the 2 upgrades that I'll be working.
One more question from the gallery before we have a photo op and then one-on-ones. Anyone? John, yeah.
Hezly, at Classics obviously was a little bit tough, I think, for you. What was your conversation with your coaches when you got back to the gym? Did you evaluate Classics, or did you change anything going forward? What was that conversation like?
Well, training before Classics was going well, so having a rough Classics, I'm kind of glad that I just got it out of the way and getting back into competition and competing under a crowd. But overall, I kind of have just been working on my confidence in the gym because it did kind of feel a little bit shaken after Classics, but I think over the past few weeks I have been finding my confidence again and just finding the joy in doing gymnastics. So it's been really fun, and having my teammates by my side through it all has been really great.
Anything specific you've done in the gym to work on that confidence?
I think just honestly, I feel like doing parts and stuff because it kind of breaks it down in my head, and when I'm going into routines, I'm just feeling more confident knowing that I can hit, because doing it separately and just putting it all together has been working really well for me.